Hey, what is going on, guys? Today it is Sunday, and I hope you all are having a good Sunday. I mean, everyone's Sunday. To be honest, back when I used to go to school, Sundays were not my favorite because what it means is that the day after it's Monday. My favorite days out of the week are always gonna be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Always my favorite weekdays. But I just want to hope you guys are having a good Sunday, enjoying your time. Well, we all know we got school tomorrow and all that stuff, but it's all good. Like I said, guys, remember to make your Monday the best. Remember to make a better day. And that's that. But today's video, we're going to be talking about Xenoverse 3 and the new possible main character, the main villain for Xenoverse 3. Now, this video right here is a crazy video because it could be anyone. Anyone from either GT Saga, either Z Saga, or Super Saga, or anyone that's been going on for right now. Even canon, non-canon villains can be the main villain for Xenoverse 3. Because, like I said, Bandai Namco and the Xenoverse series, it's a what-if series. It's what if. Whatever happens, it is what it is. There could be a timeline where Vegeta dies, and he gets resurrected and he's evil again. There's a timeline where Vegeta is evil and he's killed everyone. Like, they can go off any of these timelines, whatever it is, because Bandai makes these stories up. And, you know, Xenoverse 2, it isn't really made up, but I'm hoping Xenoverse 3 will have an original story. A completely original story that's, like, new. And it just goes off something else. Something new that they can be working on. Like I said, they've had 3 years now. So I'm hoping we get what we need out of it. We get an original character, not an original character, but an original story of whatever main villain we get. So without further ado, my very first character that I'm going to say is going to be Goku Black. Now, why do I say Goku Black? It's because Goku Black, in my opinion, was if not, he was the best arc. Well, again, the Tournament Power was a good arc too, but there's a little bit of filler episodes in the Tournament Power arc that I really didn't like. It is what it is, but the Goku Black arc, that was, if not, or they call it the Future Trunks arc. Either way, I call it both. But that arc was, if not, my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Super, and I loved it, man. It was so amazing. Like I say, Goku Black is my favorite character. He's my all-time favorite character, even Rose Black. But either way, just his whole story, the way it went off, you might think, oh yeah, it's Zamasu in there, but if you think about it, the way it is, he took Goku's body and he just used it, he manipulated it, and he took all the powers that it had. Everything Goku's done, all the fights from that one timeline, you know, it's from the current timeline of Super, but it's a different, like, universe apparently, or a different timeline, I should say. Um, and he took all those fights from going on up to that point, up to the point where they meet Future Trunks. Goku Black or Zamasu from the future, from Trunks' timeline took Goku's, or not Trunks' timeline, from Goku's, the main timeline, took Goku's body because he saw how powerful it was and he turned it into something new. And what made it so interesting was because, guys, the thing is, Goku Black, he was improving over time. He was learning so much with the Saiyans, and he did so much, guys. This was the first villain where I thought, damn, they might not be, and they weren't able to save it. Like, they kind of lost in the end because, again, they did destroy everything in Trunks' timeline. It says he was such a strong character because he was using Goku's body, and he just became such a, like, he was just becoming anything at that point. And there were so many new things. If you guys remember that one point where, if you guys remember when Goku Black tore open like a little thing in the sky, like it could be either to a possible new universe, he didn't know himself. And I was wishing Super would go into that more. I was wishing Super would go more into that. But guess what? Bandai did. Dimps did. They went into it. And what they did was, if you bought the DLC, I believe it was Super Pack 2, where it was a cutscene where, Trunks was asking for more power when he's fighting, Fuse Zamasu. He's fighting it, and we get to see what that, what that tear was, what it could have been. It was basically everyone. There's people. It was all the people from Dragon Ball GT from that timeline. It was people it was Teen Trunks and Gohan before everything had happened in that timeline, and it was everyone from the present timeline, Piccolo and Gohan. They were all giving energy through that one little, warp in time, a little cut through time. They were all giving their energy through, and it was such an amazing thing because it made me think, like, damn, they actually did it. And then he showed us what it could have been. Because if you guys don't remember, what Goku Black did say was he doesn't know. It could be another universe, could be another timeline, could be anything. And that's what's crazy. Like, he can bend time. He can rip time like little warps in the sky and go through, which is insane to me. And I would love to see them. I would love them to explore more of that in Xenoverse 3. That needs to be explored more, honestly. I don't understand why they wouldn't do it. I'm hoping if they do make a Xenoverse 3, he's like one of the dual partners in a Xenoverse 3 as a main villain because I want to see more of Goku Black. Because even if we're not gonna get him in the even if we're not gonna get him in the show, I would love to see him in the actual video game in a Xenoverse. Because again, Xenoverse, the story, it can be an original story. It's whatever at this point. They can do what they want because it's a what if story. And it's kind of like how Dragon Ball Heroes is. It's a what if era. There's so many things going on in that universe in the Dragon Ball Heroes. Again, I think I've missed about 2 episodes. I haven't really caught up on it, but yeah, it's kind of like that. So that's why I love the Xenoverse series, man. That's why I love this game, and I can't wait for them to announce it. And guys, so the next to the next person that I think is going to be the main character or duo, but I'm gonna say main character, main villain in the Xenoverse 3 is going to be. My bags and my mic cut out right there. But either way, guys, my next character that I'm going to be saying for is the Xenoverse 3's main villain is going to be Kamba. I know I'm saying his name a little bit wrong, but if you guys know Super Dragon Ball Heroes, if you've been watching, basically everyone thought Kamba was, Broly's brother. Me too. I thought the same thing because again, you would think they're both legendary, saying and their power, the way they look, and the scars. You just like think because and the fact that Dragon Ball Super Broly they showed that Broly had scars. He didn't have scars in the earlier phase, and now that they added it now, it's kind of weird. But that was something that everyone thought. And again, for Kamba myself, when I saw him, I was like, dude, his story. I want to know more about him because we don't know so much. All we know that he was locked up in a prison. It was on a volcanic planet or whatever it was. Like I said, guys, Heroes to me, it's a pretty confusing concept, but it's entertaining to watch. It's really entertaining to watch. But what it was, he was locked up in a prison for some reason. We don't really know the reason to it, or I didn't really miss that. I kind of missed a few parts of Super Dragon Ball Heroes because I just couldn't get into it, or I could get into it, but it's just confusing to watch, man. It's just like it's kind of like it's non-canon, but it's a type of non-canon where you just can't get it, man. It's awesome to watch. It's really awesome. And going on into that, like putting Kamba as a main villain, or at least a duo, like I said with Goku Black in his Xenoverse 3 would be an amazing thing because it's new people. This is what it does is making the original story, or original story idea come into Xenoverse 3, and it can come to life. I mean, like Kamba, he's a new character. We don't know really much about him. We do know much about him because, again, Xenoverse does go off the What If series. Like I said, I've been saying this a lot in this video. It goes off what if, what this happened, this and this. It's all whatever happens in other non-canon things. We take that and we could twist it around, do whatever we want. Or we could take stuff from the main, main canon stuff and twist it around. Like, another thing that Kamba can bring is that, when he comes into it, you can see that him and Broly could probably meet, and we could probably see some type of bond. What if Broly, wants to be on his side? What if he takes, because like I said, Kamba can control people and turn them evil. What if he turns Broly into evil? It'd be insane to have a boss fight like that in the Xenoverse 3, like fighting Broly. And I would love to see what the new mechanics and new gameplay in this show, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. That's gonna be another video. But just Kamba himself, the villain himself, the way he is, the way his power is really interesting. And going on into if he was a main villain, like, you would wonder what he would do and what his goal would be. Would it be to be the most powerful, or just what it would be? And I want to see them go in more. I want them to go more into that because Kamba right now we're seeing a little bit of him in the Super Dragon Ball Heroes. I haven't really seen the last 2 episodes. I got to catch up on it, so I'm not sure if he has been in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. But let me know down below if he has. He's a pretty interesting character. And the fact of the matter is, we haven't really got him as Xenoverse at all. We have not got him as a character, and I wish the Xenoverse, would do that, where they would add characters from, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. It makes sense. But this would make the whole, guys, this whole gameplay element, because a lot of people, because believe it or not, there's not a lot of people that actually know about Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Not a lot of, even some Dragon Ball fans, which is strange. And it's not as strange, but not a lot of them know. And this would be, this would be one of, if not the perfect things that drag in more players, more people. They'd be like, oh, Xenoverse, the story was alright, but really the Xenoverse story, all it was all the, the main arcs in Z and Super just changed a little bit. If we're gonna be honest, that's really all it was. And some people loved it. It's cool. 5 million copies were sold. But what I mean is, this could attract many more people because it's a new character. Some people may not know who he is. Some people will know who he is. And they're like, oh, it's such an original story. And people just can go off that. And that's why I would love to see Kamba as either a duo partner or as the main villain, just to see how he would be and how his plot would be to go through the Xenoverse series, honestly. It would be insane, man. So for my next character, I got a lot here, man. For my next character, this is actually a surprise. It's a pretty good big surprise, to be honest. Guys, this way it's a bit of a surprise. Even though we've had this character in the game before, it's gonna be base Broly, the non-canon Broly. Now I know we've had him in the story, like we already seen him and this and that. It really wouldn't make sense. We have seen him, but again, the Xenoverse story, a few things were different here and there. We only saw Broly a few times. We haven't seen him in this stage. We haven't seen him meet, the new Dragon Ball Super Broly. We have not seen him meet Canon Broly. Non-Canon Broly and Canon Broly have not met before. And if we were to tie those two people together, I think it would make a really cool, like, it would make a good story for that, because you'd think, like, oh, what is this? This Broly came from this timeline. The timeline where Broly was fighting the timeline where Goku and everyone, all the Z fighters, the week before they were gonna fight Cell, they went to go see Broly, and in that point, Broly had got sucked into a time warp, and he was put into this universe. He was put into the main timeline where everyone's at, the canon timeline, and in this timeline, he's been found by what's it called, Mira, and she's helping him out, and she's giving him like new equipment, a new suit, all that stuff, and what it does is his main purpose is to kill Goku. But then, like I said, it could make so many sense because say if Goku Black was a duo partner, could you imagine how that would go in the back of Broly's mind? He would want to kill Goku Black as well, and it would make an insane, like an insane story. Because if you think about it, if he meets the canon Broly, say he's stumbling by, and Mira transports him to the canon Broly to see what it was all about, it'd be insane. Like imagine if they teleport him like a few, because like I said, they're going through time. What if they went through where he goes, where Canon Broly didn't even get to Earth yet. He was still there with his father. Like his father was still alive. What if Broly got to meet his father again? Like it'd be at a point where I'm not saying that when Broly when non-canon Broly got sucked in that time warp into the main non-canon or into the canon world where he killed his father. But either way, like seeing another version of his father where he's a little bit much more older, and he sees this canon Broly, this Broly that can't really control his power. Because like I said, there's a very different thing between the non-canon Broly and the canon Broly. The non-canon Broly, he can't control his power. He doesn't know how to control it. He's not tamed, and his main goal, he doesn't really know his goal. He doesn't really want to know what he wants to do with his power. The thing about non-canon Broly is his main goal, he doesn't give a shit. He knows how to control his power. He knows how to keep going beyond his limits. And his main purpose is to wreak havoc, destroy things. That's his main goal. To him, his power is pretty much everything. He thinks his power is above everyone. And you can see that in the movie, when Broly, the non-canon Broly, when he was fighting Goku and everyone, all Z fighters, his power was going up and up. Kept going beyond. It took Goku everyone's energy, everyone's last hope of energy to take out Broly. And even at that point, like when Broly was stomping on Goku, did you remember that part? That was an insane part. And it showed that Broly did not give a shit about anything. He didn't care about getting stronger. He already knew he was strong. And it had a whole new element to the story, a whole new element to the movie. And it would show, like, it'd be like, damn, two different people. And you would see, like, how would the canon Broly react? Like, what would it be his first? How would he fight him? Like, one can't control his power, one can control his power. One doesn't really know if he wants to hurt people. One knows he wants to hurt people. Like it's like they're both like different. Like, they're both opposing enemies, but at the same time, what if like this Broly convinces non-canon Broly, just like I said with the Kamba thing? What if he convinces, canon Broly to become evil? Which again, the Kamba can do that because since he did try to make Goku go evil in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, so it's pretty much a different thing. But I would love to see that implemented into the story. I would love to see base Broly. Like I said, I would love to see all these people, all the people I list today. I would love to see them all as like a little like a little group and just going around and fighting a whole story, a whole new animated cutscenes, just a whole new brand new thing in an original story, and you get to know more about them. I would love to see that, man, in Xenoverse 3. So for my next character, this is actually my last one. I was gonna say Cell, but to be honest, guys, I'm not really feeling Cell. I would love to see him a little bit later on. Not really trying to say I hate Cell. I just don't really want to see him. We've already seen him in the Xenoverse series. I just don't really think he's that. Cell is an interesting character. I love him, but I don't know if I want to see him as a main villain. To be honest, I think that'll be too much. The main villain, everyone is gonna guess, and possibly will be. And it's actually a really good guess. Actually, it's definite. He has to be in the game, no matter what. You already know it at this point. So that was my philosophy. But the next character, you already know it, is Moro. He is a main, everyone's guess, and a likely person to be the main villain, the next main villain in Xenoverse 3. We still have yet to see him in the actual anime. We already know he's part of the, the manga and all that stuff. Everyone's been reading that. We already know all about Moro. I've been watching a lot of videos on him, and he's a really interesting character. This character right here, he'd be a. I think this character would be way too OP. I think Moro, because what his abilities, he can like get people's powers and he can take them away, where to the point where no one has a power. Where Broly, or not Broly, where Vegeta and Goku, where he took their powers and he's using. He's pretty much trying to get back to his old self, his old destruction. He's a god of destruction, and he's trying to get back to his old self, and he's taking people's energy. And the fact that the original Kai that Majin Buu sucked up and just absorbed is back now. We're seeing so many new characters implemented in the story, and it's an original story. Now the fact that Xenoverse has a what if, like I said, I keep saying this, it's a what if series. We don't know what could happen. They could do something much more different in Moro, where you're fighting and Moro can take everyone. Where this time Beerus does want to fight Moro. What if there's a fight between him and Moro? What if Moro pops up where Beerus had like, oh, what if Moro popped up when Beerus came to Earth? Like, what if Mira, transferred Moro to there to fight Beerus? Because that's where Moro wanted to see, and he wants Beerus' powers. And there's a fight, and what if Moro wins? Like, it just sees, like, what he could do and whose power he could take. What if he takes his Whis' power? Could you imagine that if he takes Whis' power? Like I said, guys, if you guys don't know Xverse Games, he actually made a video about why Beerus doesn't want to fight more, and it's a really good video. It's a really good video. I recommend go check him out. I actually got that art from him, so again, he's a real cool dude. I really appreciate his content. Awesome dude. But yeah, man, it's such a he like I said, guys, this character at this point would be scary to fight in Xenoverse. Could you imagine? Like, one thing I do hope in Xenoverse, I'm gonna mention in my wish list, is I hope we get a co-op story where we could play with at least one friend, and just having that, it'd be much more fun to play with another friend. But either way, it's just that's the thing. That's the many things Moro could do in the story, and what he could, how insane he could be. So, like I said, man, it's a real drive with Moro. He's like the main. He's pretty much everyone's thought process of coming into Xenoverse 3. We all know he's gonna possibly be a main character. But like I said, all the other people I talked about at being actual main duo partners, I hope they are at least implemented in a Xenoverse 3. They would make amazing people and as character, and amazing story characters. Just I would love to know more about them. And if they don't do that, I would love to make them as DLC characters, a DLC story, if anything. But I don't want to say like, oh, I already want DLC story when the game comes out. I just hope they add everything they can, and yeah, that would make much more sense. I would love that. So I already know it's been 3 years. They're already working on a Xenoverse 3. They probably already have the main character. It's probably Moro, but you never know. They're adding new things at the day. They can be adding new DLC, new things, new free things. They're adding new characters. More could be a character. Like I said, Xenoverse, I don't expect it to come out Xenoverse 3. I don't expect it to come out anytime soon. Or I do hope we get an announcement. I believe we may get an announcement, possibly E3 2020. Or probably we might get an announcement like halfway when E3 when 2020 is finished, midway 2020, and I think we might get a release of Xenoverse 3 in 2021. But either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate if you guys did. Please hit that like button because it does help me out and it helps the video out. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe because I do make content like this all the time. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.